Aquarius, welcome back for your love in general. Oh, I tell you, you guys are going to have a lot of interruptions this month. Now, I have pulled the cards ahead of time. I did do your read before and there were several interruptions in between that, so I hope all white noise is gone. I've pulled the cards, like I said, ahead of time, and I did pull some clarifiers because I got halfway through your read and it cut out because I got a phone call, then an email, then another phone call. Things from the past are coming up for you. Now, I've got to be really cautious the way I explain this because I want you to get the best out of this month. Now, there is going to be a reading mid-month. I want you to go and check how the energy has transferred. You guys do have a head and heart and judgment decision coming up. Now, where you're investing, you need to be completely sure. No half foot in the door, half foot out, because it's going to cause conflict for you this month. You guys have some things from the past coming up where you're going to be looking at and going, Dan, why did I do that for? There are some things coming up for you to deal with from the past. Now, these can be things that are hindering you from physically moving forward, but you're tying up loose ends. You're wanting to take that leap of faith forward, but something directly connected to the past is hindering you. Now, I am feeling there's some childhood wounds coming up. Your interconnections with people are also in review right now. So, by my attention to things, I am making choices. So, I feel you guys feel to some degree you don't have any power. And 5 denotes change. You can't change the past, but the consequences for the past and whatever residue energies that is coming up to be dealt with. So you'll have no choice but to change certain dynamics in a way you are dealing with them, the way you are seeing them. And even if you are seeing them a particular way, I do feel there's energies that are going to need to be resolved that are hindering your movement forward. So perspective is everything, but you need to change your mindset with certain things because some people won't change. Some scenarios are unchangeable at the moment, but there is change coming, okay? So past tense tying up of karmic cycles are coming up for you, but there is going to be a head and a heart decision. Now, in your crowning for your general part of the reading, I have pulled love, but the crowning energy was the 10 of Cups. And another card fell out, which was justice. This overall, in a general sense, is where you're connecting in with, okay? With your work, with your money, wanting things to get to the highest level, but the work you're going to need to do to get that. So to alchemize that situation, you've got to make some very balanced decisions, big decisions. What is going to work for you to attain these goals and these dreams? What are you going to do on a financial level to bring that full 360, even if in the past there were some things that you wish you didn't do, okay, or you wish didn't happen? There's tying up of loose ends. Some of you, past tense relationship potentially, moving into a new one. It could have been financial related dynamics. It's overall really. So I feel if you're focusing on the end outcome, it's still the baby steps in between, but it's quite fast-paced energy. You're going to have things coming at you a left field. Now, if you're lackluster connected to your employment, and because I've done this read before, it's probably going to fly through. But again, anchor in with your energy. At the end of this read, if you're wanting a booking connected to you directly and your own energy, seeing and helping you work through your blocks, click the link and come through and I'll give you a hand. Your energy in your work domain is several things. Those of you who hate your job, get out, okay? Because it is actually hindering you. You need fresh energy. You are quite fast-paced, but you need to deal with the consequences of a past tense situation. If you're staying in it, but you're not connected spiritually and you're not really putting your full 360 into it, you know, your full 100, it's probably not going to bode well. Anything you're working on, if you feel fatigued in doing it, something's out of balance. Look at it and see if you can shift something about so that the balance can come back, but make a correct judgment of what you feel is correct for you. If you're not passionate about it, it's affecting your chakras, it's affecting your balance, you won't be able to give 100% to it. What will help you with this is knowing that you need to freshen the energy up, either freshen your energy up or your approach to it, or potentially seek somewhere else if that's what you're guided to do energetically. You are tempted to do something, you know, you're getting a hunch, but you know what's blocking you is relationships and connections. And it's interesting because your crowning energy is the Ten of Cups. So these potentially you could have imbalances with connections around you, both at work, connections to the past, connections to people in the future, connections in your family. Every area of connections and interrelationships are affecting you. It can be management, it can be, like I said, you get my point, connections. Some things aren't changing, okay? But and that's what's blocking you, is that some things you can't change. Remember I said change, but some things can't change. It is what it is. Past. You know, all of us collectively do to a point get to a place we go, gee, I wish I didn't do that. But it's too late after the fact. It is what it is. And that's why when we have wounds, we do tend to believe that forgiveness, you know, that person coming to you and saying, hey, I'm sorry, mate, but it actually doesn't. The wounds still live there. So it's what you do with those wounds to heal them yourself actually does free you. But bringing that black book out on your side of the fence or their side of the fence is keeping your energy stagnant in that frequency. I do feel conflict for those of you who had left a connection and, you know, are co-parenting or energy similar to that. Again, you're wanting to bridge the gap and mend fences. There could be stubborn frequencies there energetically. Co-parenting potentially can be problematic. One or the other may be doing more. And that's, again, imbalance, interconnections with people. It just feels collectively for you guys this month, it's interconnection. Moving forward, right? Although we've looked at your work domain, anyone you're working with, if it's not balanced, you need a fresh start. You're dealing with the 3D aspects of that to bring that about full 360. To reach the 10, the steps you need to take with that. If it's work as well, the same thing applies. It's the energy of, okay, how do I feel about this? Good and bad, weighing up the pros and cons and the judgment, and then shifting your perspective into what is going to work. Be that a new job, be that a new way of dealing with a situation to bring the balance through. Speaking your truth as well, but not from a trigger point. Assess first. Look at it like the traffic lights, you know, and I'm in Australia, so we call them traffic lights. The red for, okay, you're triggered, or aha, we've got a problem. Acknowledge. Yellow, okay, what would I need to do? Let's meditate on this. Green, proceed. You know, but have it so that you're not in trigger point and we're not shooting, you know, crossfire sort of thing. So we're getting the best out of the situation. We're alchemizing our energy into problem solving with these energies. You've got, currently, you're looking at things that just aren't working. You're having clarity about it. Again, it could be a relationship, interconnections, anywhere that's imbalanced, you're going to be looking at this month. Moving forward, you may be extremely scared, because it does mean you may energetically feel you're giving more than you're getting, or vice versa, okay? But I do feel you're scared that this change is going to cause an issue with your finances. And again, it's interesting because in a manifestation sense, we directly, what we believe our worth is what we attract. So it's interesting that connections has come up because the lower chakras are linked to connections. You need a balance of the lower chakras, and that's all the way from base, sacral, and solar plexus. Because your power and your belief, we can come through with the ego, with the fight and flight, and we can come through with the inner power of the gut instincts and following suit as to what we need to do. And then we can have them imbalanced, and we can give away our power and believe we're a victim and not do anything. And that's not to say you are, but when there's imbalances, this is the way they can react. In some shape or form, your gut is telling you about some situations, and it can be affecting you. You do want to move forward because you had invested and your bank balance is in the negative, okay? You're like, hey, because you spent, and that's where the imbalances can come from too in the lower chakras. Your auric field of protection has been down. Financially, you guys do have mass potential. Most millionaires start from zero, okay? Remember I mentioned bank balance and 0. Which the Fool card is 0. Infinite potential and possibility. Because once it's broke down, it's all up from here, providing you got your fight and flight. Some of you are thinking about what to do from here. Financially, what's not working, that's going to help you by looking at what's not working, addressing the 3D of what's not working. What's blocking you is not connecting in with those emotions. So you must connect in at a financial level, what to invest in, what not to, with your finances, logical, rational decisions. What will take me closer to my goal, what will take me further away. If we're in trigger point, we could be a bit thrifty. Or spending too much, you know what I mean? Instant gratification. I'm feeling empty, I need to fill my cup. Could be food, could be partying, could be X, Y, and Z. And then checking the bank balance and going, oh, short. Energetically, really, really alchemize what you want to do on your financial level, because you've got major changes coming. Some of you will launch businesses. Some of you have this epiphany and you're like, I can do better than this. It can be even changing careers to generate that extra income. But don't look at the income as the trigger point. Look at the investment in yourself of what is going to fulfill you. You'll get the best out of it. And it will naturally flow to you in different shapes and forms. Can be, you know, when we think financially, and I do want to do videos on manifestation, we think we'll go get the lotto. And then we're like, nah, we probably won't win. You're less likely to, because your belief in it is 0. Because there's infinite potential. But if you were to say, I'm there, bought it, put it in the purse, don't think about it because you don't care, you probably win. Same situation with work. When you're tuning into finances, it's going to lag. When you're focused on the process, it flows in for you to do that work. Family. You have this energy that is emotional and grounded and a connection. You're hoping the situation's going to change. It has brought you great sorrow. Now, the energy I was tuning with this is there is some sort of thing past tense where you're feeling either on their side of the fence or you was a bit rebellious and foolish. Might have been sharp words, might have been energies where didn't think it through. Remember, I mentioned interconnections, connections in general. You had your way of seeing things. You yearned to talk to this person to explain after the fact. There can be a stubborn energy coming through. I do feel a lot of reflection of the past, making it more relevant in the future, but it's not. It's past. Inner child work. Lower chakras again. This actually blocks us not manifesting cash, not manifesting beautiful energies and beautiful people into our life. The lower chakras, screw it up. Balance your lower chakras, peeps. I'm telling you, you're having a mass change. I'm not feeling bad things. I'm feeling if you can deal with these energies, you're going to fly forward this month. In your romantic domain, the person you're tuning into or the person you're directly with, this is your love interest. They do want to take this to the next level. Okay? In their heart, they want to take this to the next level. It's in their head. And they're thinking about how to do that. They're assessing how to do that. External environment, which could be you, but it can also be people around you. Financially, they're being cautious. Emotionally, they're being cautious. They're assessing the energy around you. They're assessing their environment as well. You, in your head, you may be strict on your energy or theirs to a point where you're making some harsh decisions. Okay, there can be an area in your life with them or separately, interconnections, remember, where you're not happy filling your own cup. Avoiding the healing and knowing that potentially some of this healing needs to come. This could be a new energy you're currently dealing with. But again, in the external area, there is a lot of stress around you because there is a karmic cycle and it's happening so much that although your crowning energy is the Two of Cups, I didn't even look down at the actual love section of it. I was like, this is about connections in general. And I'm like, wow, Aquarius, you do have a lot going on. So I'm not saying that there won't be romance. This is the beginning of the month. I'm doing a check-in for the mid-months to come through and check. There can be issues surrounding you that is affecting it. It's not saying the connection's not there. There's crap going down that's affecting your vibration, therefore being able to invest in you, and then it is problematic. Both of you are feeling trapped, but again, it's a perspective, okay? When we see this, she can free herself, but she is blinded to the truth. And this can be your counterparts and yours. This is the energy between you. Both of you feel stuck in your own 3D life, but both of you are fiercely independent, but this isn't front, you know? This phone drives me crazy. I'm having one of these days today. I'm going to plug my charger in. Due to the external scenarios, you might think, gosh, have I invested prematurely? You're meditating upon this, and we do have the Gemini moon coming up between the 5th and the 6th. It is moving through Cancer, which a lot of childhood wounds will come up, and it's definitely coming up in your family domain. So I'm feeling after that point, around the 5th and the 6th, I do feel there's an energy movement where, again, you've got judgment. Both of you together are going to make a judgment. You might be scared that after this judgment, it could mean leaving somebody out in the cold. Or you may feel if you're using harsh words and you're not communicating effectively, it may be you're explaining to your partner some childhood related wound, how it made you feel. I do feel the Aquarian energy is feeling quite vulnerable. And it may be an anniversary of someone's passing, but it's the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. And again, communication is key, right? Bringing things together. There can be, again, I'm so feeling this is not about your connection. I feel you're being open with this person. A lot of what's going on has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's got to do with potentially someone you weren't talking to, okay? But it's not to do with, if you're cross-watching your soulmate twin flame, I've got a reading coming. But if you are, this is not about your counterpart. This is about an external energy. It could be on their side of the fence, but it feels like an external energy to the relationship. Okay, you may need to travel away from this connection to bring things together. Again, it's not about the relationship. It's not about the connection. I'm not feeling you leaving them. I'm feeling you have external obstacles that you're dealing with. And again, this energy can swap where it's them. But there's something on a 3D happening with you guys to finalize things, to clear some sense of mess up, to proceed forward. Put the comments in the box. I'll read them and I'll try and respond back to you guys. And I'll see you for the live session psychically, as well as the moon energies. And I'll see you on the other side.